At one point in life, you're going to have to give feedback. Giving feedback is an important way to foster growth and development. In fact, it's really hard for anyone to grow up without some form of feedback. And as a leader, part of our job is giving feedback to a team about their performance at work. Sometimes feedbacks can be positive and other times they can be negative. Hi, my name is Janet, and in this video, there is a boss Logan and an employee Trixie, who is a team leader. Logan works in a bustling corporation where she's the big boss. She's in charge of a massive project, of which the deadline is fast approaching. And in order to get the project done before the due date, she broke down the project into manageable sections and assigned roles to capable team leaders to delegate among the employees of the company. However, amidst the progress, one of our team leaders, Trixie, has failed to deliver the project on time. The failure disrupted the entire project, which resulted in the loss of $50,000 in fine and forsaken revenue for the company. She's not impressed with her employee, Trixie. She has to address the situation with her by weaving strands of both encouragement and critique while charting a path forward for improvement. Sit tight and watch how the communication model unfolds in front of our eyes. We believe this video has valuable information on how to navigate stressful professional interactions and give you tips on active listening despite communication barriers. Got any question? Krista is here to explain the concept further. Thank you.
Trixie, please come into my office. Sit down.
Hi, Logan.
So, what's going on? What's happening with this project? Why'd you mess up? What happened?
What do you mean I messed up? What happened?
Well, because of you, we incurred $50,000 worth of fines. What's going on? What did you do wrong?
1 second, I can't hear you properly. Can I just close this door and we can discuss this privately?
Okay.
Now that it's quiet, I would prefer if you and I had a private discussion about this so we can just talk about it better without any kind of communication barrier, if that's fine with you.
Definitely.
So what you're saying is I incurred $50,000 in fines. Could you please explain that to me?
Yeah, for sure. Let me clarify. So, a month ago, as the boss, I sat down with all the team leaders, one of them being you, and we had this big project from a big client, and so I delegated a bunch of tasks to be completed by yesterday. Everyone else completed their work, and the work that I did see from you, I was very impressed with. You did a really, really good job. However, it wasn't the full scope of what I had assigned, and so I just kind of wanted to come to you and see what was going on. Maybe there was something on my end that I could have helped you with a little better, but you just did not complete the work that was required, and because of that, our client charges $50,000 in late fees. So someone else had to come in and finish the work that you were supposed to finish. That being said, I was very impressed with your work and would have loved to see the rest of it being done by you, so I just kind of wanted to come to you and see what we could have changed and how we can move forward with this.
Thank you for clarifying. I understand you better now. Actually, I've been meaning to talk to you about this project because at the very start of it, I wasn't aware of the full scope like you mentioned. I think I was just assuming a role up until a certain point. And once I reached that certain point, I just went hands off, and that was my responsibility to complete the project, and I'm sorry I did not. I should have taken the initiative to discuss this with you so that I could complete it. If I had also known there were going to be fees incurred, I wouldn't have delayed the progress at all. I want to take responsibility for this mistake, so please just let me know how I can rectify this, and then I'll get it done.
Thank you very much for apologizing. Just to reiterate what you were saying and how I understood it was, you did very good work and you did the work that you understood was required of you, but you just didn't understand the full scope of what was required. Like, I just didn't communicate that clearly enough, I guess, at the beginning, and I didn't make myself available to you for questions along the way. I understand with how I started this meeting, it was very hostile and I was closed off and angry because I didn't know what your side was, and so I see how, as an employee, that would be hard to come to your boss and discuss questions like that. So I do appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me. But going forward, how do you think we should move forward?
Moving forward with future projects, like with this kind of responsibility and gravity, I suggest that you and I both collaborate on an outline where we detail the timelines, the responsibilities, and the tasks that I need to complete. Also, if there should be any fines, I want it to be in writing, if that's okay with you, just so that you and I have something to refer back to always. And after this discussion, I feel more comfortable with you, knowing that I can like go to you and discuss like whatever scope of work that I need clarity with. Previously, I felt a bit apprehensive, but now I'm more comfortable. So I think moving forward, we could do those two things. It'll help our working relationship better and also the success of this project and future projects.
I agree with you. So what I understand is we just need to take more time in the briefing stage, just so we're all on the same page. I agree with you. We should put this in writing, and I think we should call a meeting with the other team leaders, just so we're all on the same page. And I will make myself more available in the future for questions along the way. And I'm sorry for assuming that you knew what was asked of you, and I'm sorry for attacking you without realizing your side of the story. So I really appreciate you sitting down with me. Thank you.
I appreciate it too. Thank you so much, Logan.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The communication model starts off with Logan being the sender and Trixie being the receiver. Logan encodes the 50,000 fine as a result of Trixie's irresponsibility and chooses to set up a face-to-face meeting as her channel of communication. As we have seen in the video, Logan and Trixie kind of started on the wrong foot there. Logan began the conversation by accusing her of failing to complete the project, which led Trixie to decode the tone as hostile. Trixie then crossed her arms, showing her nonverbal communication, and this indicated that she was not receptive to the negative feedback. The communication barrier displayed in the scene was external noise. The door was left open, which led Trixie being distracted by the loud environment. Trixie took initiative to close the door to have a private discussion with Logan. The quiet setting gave Logan a moment to reevaluate their approach to giving positive feedback, and as a result of this positive shift, Trixie was able to receive constructive feedback without being defensive. Trixie proceeded to communicate her side of the story and immediately asked her boss what she could do to rectify the situation. Towards the end of the conversation, both parties were actively listening to each other on how to avoid miscommunication in the future. This was seen by having no phones as distractions, open body language, eye contact, and nodding. The conversation now turned into a more informational one, and it was clear that both parties understood each other's sides without any judgment and were both willing to collaborate to set things straight. The transition of their attitudes from the start of the video until the end is clear, and both acknowledge each other's mistakes and apologies. Both then suggested and offered ways to communicate more efficiently in the future, which would help avoid instances like this one on future projects.
To recap, the four concepts discussed in this case are communication model, giving and receiving feedback, active listening, and communication barriers. In a corporate setting, the dynamic between boss and employee includes mandatory project check-ins. It could be intimidating at times, especially when the stakes are so high. A boss can prepare for this situation by upholding professional demeanor, remembering to lead the discussion with positive feedback. Focus on problem solving and giving their employee the safe space to discuss what is happening on their end. On the other hand, an employee can actively listen and ask clarifying questions in order to understand what the feedback is meant for. In times of miscommunication, it is advisable to take a pause, which Logan did when the door was closed, to assess where the miscommunication is stemming from. Once identified, take actionable steps, such as changing the tone to more positive, asking follow-up questions, changing the environment, and even changing vocabulary. Understanding how the communication model works and how to avoid miscommunication is essential for workforce productivity and efficiency. Not only can speaking and listening help on a work, it will also boost the person's way of life. Thank you so much.